We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That Foreing Show. We'll be seeing you on the Foreing Show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS.
Entrando por tus oídos hasta llegar al centro de tus emociones, ADR Networks está en este momento
activando tus sentidos.
ADR Networks presenta.
This is Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch.
And this is...
Foreing Show!
On the Foreing Show.
What it do? Welcome to the show. Friday, 3 p.m. TFS. Welcome down to ADR Networks. I'm Isaac Crouch.
I'm Celestine Angel, and we're here activating your senses.
Okay, you wanna give me the question?
Okay.
We got a question for you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. What's better than one massage? No, what was that? What was that that you said? You said it out, darling.
Okay, today on That Insider, we are going to talk about a massage thing that you can do, all right? And that was the whole thing.
So massage therapy, yeah. So
massage therapy that involves more than one masseuse. In fact, it's two masseuse, all right?
Right. They call it four hands massage. And we have information to share about this. Like, we haven't tried the massage, but it's a new business by two of our friends. Mm-hmm. One is Japanese and one is I think she's full Japanese. Well, one is Japanese and one is Chinese. And the idea of this massage is that it's an Oriental type massage. They have been certified by CINEC, which is a place where they check your skill to make sure that it is proper.
Really? So
they give you the certification, and they are also certified by a holistic center.
I didn't know this. So it's official.
Yes, very official. And I really like the whole concept that they have going. They also provide you with an infusion of a tea infusion of Oriental herbs. And the massage also comes with facial.
Yeah, that's right. It comes with a
facial of rice arroz. What did they say?
It's a rice infusion of rice
with a touch of prepared with a touch of lavender, matcha, or roses.
Now, guys, we won't be talking about stuff like that if there isn't a special reason, right? We know these people, okay, and we stand behind this thing, all right? We know it's going to be good. In fact, this four massage thing, they've highlighted here that there's a few points here, and they're saying that it's symmetrical over your body, so it's done very systematically. You get two masseuse, moving through your whole body, and that symmetrical attack is supposed to actually be beneficial for you, right? And if I'm not wrong, this is a traditional thing, right? Have you heard about this before?
No.
I think I heard of something like that before.
Generally, I have tried Chinese massage, which is very good, very like sports massage kind of thing. But generally, we like Thai massage, so we always go for the Thai massage. But these are our friends. So like in this segment, That Insider, what we know, you will know. So yes. That's why we are sharing it. We haven't tried them out, but right now, because they are brand new, they already have like plenty of clients, it seems, lined up. And but it's at this point, the main thing I'm trying to say is that it's really cheap. It's only 600 pesos and it's 1.5 hours. So that's a pretty good massage.
Okay.
And
Big shout out to Kimmy and Mariana.
Yes. Those are
We
two
wanna,
friends.
so before the bookings start coming in, I think we got to reserve a date or something. Man. We've been so busy. Sorry, we haven't had the chance to actually do the massage.
Right. So
There
here
it is.
you can see it. It's the numbers are there.
Oh yeah.
And I've also shared it on our Instagram on the stories. You see it in the insider segment. If right now it's no longer on the story, but in the highlights you can see it. Well, I will put it up again, like in the next few days, and I'll tag the Instagram page of Kimmy and Mariana,
Yes, so
that
you guys
can contact them through Instagram as well if you wish. Okay.
Very nice.
So next week for the Insider, we will be talking about an Indonesian catering service that we have spoken about a few times, I think, and also the owner of that catering service, she actually was our guest before.
Yep.
But now she has opened up a restaurant. So next week we will go all into it.
And that one, we have tried most of the dishes, right? Authentic Indonesian food, right? If you're looking for that kind of stuff, if you don't know about that, you should try it. You should try it, and then you know.
Right. Okay.
So today's episode is all about like
Asian
pleasurable. I mean,
why pleasurable?
Food, massage.
I thought we were going to talk about guests. That's why I was like, you say pleasurable. Okay, well,
we'll find out. I'm sure there's something. Today's guest. Why don't you tell the people about today's guest?
Okay, so today we have Zak Chiu. He is so far we have known a whole bunch of Chius.
Yes.
And actually, his cousin Joanne Chiu was actually scheduled for one of the episodes, but he's in China.
Big shout out to John.
So he couldn't get on because they have like restrictions for a lot of sites. So we couldn't get Joanne and Eileen on for that episode. But
that one is
the first Chiu that's coming on will be Zak.
Yes.
Zak's English is very good, I would say, and we are very excited to have him on.
Yeah.
And you see we know a whole bunch of Chius because the family is pretty big, and like we know like the cousins, the uncles, and everything. And well, I think Zak is going to share with us like how his family. Mainly, I would like him to talk about his immediate family. But yeah, he's going to talk about his great grandfather and all the history, like how did they settle down in Mexico?
Oh, wow.
Why did they settle down in Mexico?
So when you were telling me grandfather, you actually meant great grandfather who moved.
Yes, great grandfather. Like I was telling Isaac, that great grandfather was the first Chiu that arrived, but he got deported during the Civil War, and so Zak is considered second generation because his father was born in China, and then came to Mexico when he was 3.
Right.
So Zak was the firstborn in his immediate family. Well, he will tell us the whole history. Let me just check if he's already.
Yes,
backstage.
That's the name of our guest, and there he is on the screen. Welcome.
Hey there.
Welcome to the show, Zak. What's up, bro?
Hey
there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but
you look very blurred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the camera, but I cannot do a lot about that. Sorry.
Good.
Is it? Could you give it a one of those?
Why? Yeah.
Well, it's cool. We can see you. I think it's good. How you doing, bro?
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Actually, I'm in a town here near Atlacomulco, near Michoacán, and well, it's pretty quiet actually.
You're in Michoacán, so you're not back in Mexico City yet.
I'm not sure exactly where I am. I only know where I'm near.
You sound like you don't know where you are, bro.
Yeah, he's not in the city.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, did you hear when we were describing like your family history thing? Like your great grandfather was the first.
Did we
You
get?
hear when we were talking? Were you backstage?
Yeah, well, I was talking about how my great grandfather was the first one to come here.
Hmm.
He came at the start of the 20th century.
Okay, before we
Um,
get into that, Zach, before we get into that, right, I want to ask you about this. What do you feel when you hear about? I mean, obviously, you don't think of yourself as anything other than Mexican, right? You know what I mean? Like that is there, right? You're here. You feel yourself here, right? You consider yourself Mexican. So, what do you feel when you hear about? Or when you think about these things, you think about your grandfather coming over and things like that. You know, what do you feel about that, bro?
oh, well, I grew up here. I only been to the United States, so I actually feel Mexican, but I I knew from the start that I was a bit different because of my eyes, my surname Chiu. So there was always something that wasn't exactly Mexican, and because
Mm.
my family always wait, they have these traditions. For example, my uncles and my grandfather, they
Mm-hmm.
didn't behave exactly like traditional grandfathers or uncles. So there was always
Yeah. Okay. See, this
that.
this. Wow. Okay.
So, like,
Yeah,
for
well, there was
example,
always a bit
like,
of
what do you
difference.
mean?
Mm.
What was the difference, for example?
For example, here in Mexico, you have seen, you've been here for a while. People are very well. They embrace each other a lot. They
Uh,
tend to show others like more affection, and in China, that's not the case.
no,
They
in
show it more
Asia.
like
Wow.
they have their ways of showing things. And for example, my mom didn't always like that from my dad, the lack of affection.
The lack of affection.
But
Okay.
yeah, and
But it's part of the
those,
culture, right? And like, you
yeah, exactly,
understood
it's
that
part
it
of the
was a
culture.
culture. Yeah,
Mm.
it's like a culture difference kind of thing of expression. Eh? Mm.
Yeah, it was a well, my all my uncles were raised by a Chinese mother and my grandfather, so they always had that little thing there. And well, my dad
Mm-hmm.
had it too, and he may have passed something of that to me. So so
Well,
I'm more
sorry,
affectionate
bro.
than my dad, but
Can you say again what little thing? Could you
That
break it
that
down?
that he's not so affectionate like
cold.
a traditional. Yeah,
Oh wow. Okay,
like
so
more
that
cold. You find yourself more cold.
No. I think I'm
the
less
sentiment in your
cold when
family.
my
Okay.
yeah. I tend to show. Oh, I try, even though it's not so easy for me. Some people like my sister, she can show affection for everyone, and it comes super easy for her. Well, for me, not so much. But I try to well, to be more affectionate, to show it more. You know.
Right. So, like, I mean, this is a bit of a side question, but like, you in your family, you guys have four, right? You,
Uh, yeah,
you.
I got four brothers. Yeah.
So it's you, me, you, and one more.
Yeah, my brother Jair.
Jade. But like I find it interesting that the rest of the other two families, they don't really speak that much English, but you guys all do. Like your immediate family,
Ah,
May
yeah.
speaks English, you speaks English. So how come?
How come? Because my mom, because of my mother, she knew that the English is going to
Mm-hmm.
open a lot of doors for us. Well, it has already
Hmm.
opened a lot of doors for us. Um, it's
Yeah.
one of the most common languages in the world.
Yes.
So yeah,
But
since
also
we
more than
were
that, if I can add,
yeah.
I mean more than that, more than just being common, it kind of like it's almost like in a sense the main language, right, of the world. Like I know this is kind
Yeah,
of controversial, but actually, in a sense,
English, and then followed by Chinese and Spanish. These three languages are the top spoken in the world.
Yes, but
Yeah,
like
English,
culturally, I
Spanish,
mean,
and Chinese.
Yeah.
they're the top languages, right?
So you're like a combination of the three.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
But
you can
funny
survive.
though,
You can survive.
I don't speak any Chinese, so
Well, you look Chinese, so
一
like
点
yeah.
点，一点点可以吗？Yo, Zach, this is I wanna break something down, right? Like earlier when I was asking you what you felt about your grandfather, it's not so much that I'm interested in your feelings about it, but it's just I wanted to see what you choose to highlight in what you were saying. And the first few things you mentioned was very interesting. Like you said, this thing about the affection, right? And
yeah,
because we talk about it a lot. In fact, we talk about it on the show also. And sometimes you wonder that is it just us? You know what I mean? And here you are,
yeah,
and you mentioned the same thing. And you also mentioned that your mom and your grandfather and your family have this sentiment.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The sentiment about the difference between Mexican culture being very affectionate and Chinese culture, Asian culture being more cold, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I want to get a bit into that. Did you have examples of? I mean, obviously, did you have like relatives who visited you guys from China? Distant cousins and stuff. And then when they came here, they look around and then they say something like, "Oh, how come your family is so loving?" Was it did something like that happen?
Well, it may have happened when my dad was a kid, or when my uncles were kids, because personally, we have never met anyone from China, from our own family. I think
Got
my
you.
grandfather only traveled once there,
Mm.
because um because well, he missed his country a lot. So, but that was in the 80s, I think. That was in the 80s, and that was the last time he visited China. From the other side, as far as I know, no one came, because
Right.
Okay.
actually all the brothers of my grandfather, they were the ones that came here.
They all came in a group.
Yeah, they all came in a group,
Hmm.
but the problem, I think, was with my grandmother. Yeah, because
Okay.
she she left everything behind. No, her
Oh,
brothers, no
okay.
one from her family came here, and
Mm,
I think she may have sent them some correspondence mails, the old-fashioned way, with
Yeah.
paper. But aside from
yeah.
that, uh, I don't think they ever came here, and that's it, because
Mm.
from her family, I don't know a thing, actually, nothing.
Right. And do you know why your family, like from your ancestors and all that, decided to make a home in Mexico? Like, as in, why Mexico? That's one.
Well, because from what you were talking earlier about my grandfather, he was actually born here. So he decided, the government of Adolfo López Mateos, which was the president in turn in Mexico, he decided to bring the Chinese people that were deported in the past.
Back. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he decided to bring them here, and among those people were my grandfather and his brothers. So he uh, gave them the offer that they could come back here
Could come back.
with their
Right.
families, and
Right.
so they did.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
let me
think that
just
was in 60s.
right. Okay. So let me just put the history together. First, your great grandfather came and to work, right, in Mexico in the early 20th century, and then he was deported because of the civil war, the revolution, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know exactly which year he was
Mm.
deported, but yeah, they have to live here. They have to live
Okay.
all. all they have here in
So
Mexico.
so at that point, his son, your grandfather, was born in Mexico, and when they were deported, the government invited them back. So then some of your family, I mean, your great grandfather and your grandfather came back to Mexico.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
No, I
Okay.
think my great grandfather didn't came back because he was I think he was already dead, so he didn't come back.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
but I don't know about
Only
the
your
part.
grandfather came back. Okay. Your grandfather came
My grandfather
back
and his brothers.
and his brothers. But then why was your dad in Macau? Yeah, so that's the other twist.
That's okay.
Yeah, because when my grandfather was in China, he married there. He did find himself a wife, so I don't know which year neither, but I know he had his Chinese wife.
Your
He
grandfather,
had 3 children
okay.
there. Yeah,
Oh.
my
Hence, your
had,
father is 100% Chinese, right? Okay.
yeah, kinda. So yeah, he had 3 children here, 3 or 4, I'm not sure, but he had 3 children. My aunt, which is the oldest of them, she actually had she is the only one of my uncles that still speaks Cantonese. They don't speak Mandarin, they speak Cantonese, and she's the only
Yes.
one that has all that, and also she's the one that has the secret recipes of the family because she's the one that cooks, and she cooks really well.
Food recipes, okay.
Yeah.
Is it just food recipes or other recipes? Money making business, must be, right? Some other
Philosophies.
Yeah.
Well,
no, not philosophy.
actually
Nobody's interested.
Yeah,
go ahead.
last
Sorry.
Christmas she made us dinner. She made a duck, Cantonese duck. My God, was that delicious?
Right. So basically, you guys in your family
duck.
do have Chinese recipes and eat duck because your cousin Joanne complains about how duck is very weird, and then we're like, no, but there's good duck.
A big shout out to Joanne, who is in China right now. Yes.
Right, you're representing.
Yeah. And Zach, I just want to say this, man. We're talking all these things, and it's not just because we are like history buffs or something, It's like for us, it's when we ask these questions, we kind of look at it even from a personal lens, right? And we try to piece together the pieces that, make up our guests so that we can figure out the pieces that make up ourselves, And hearing your story and everything is very similar to a lot of the people, or even our story in Singapore. Because Singapore is like, it's all about that. It's about people coming from far away, people going far away. And
settling down, and that's why really the show is interesting for us as well.
So
it's very so. I mean, the main theme is we want to understand how your family settled in Mexico, and I mean the feeling. I mean, of course, you wouldn't know exactly how your great grandfather felt or your grandfather felt, but it's like you guys settled in, and your true family. Your external family is huge.
Yes, and you guys establish yourselves here. You guys are popular here. People know you, and these things they're not easy. I mean, obviously not easy. So that means your family or you guys have a lot of things that you can. You
put roots. Roots here in Mexico. So it's an interesting story.
Very interesting. Very beneficial for people who are interested in travel and also interested in new things in life. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And any aspects that want to actually settle down in Mexico, like your story is an interesting story for them. Like, so in terms of your family, your dad was born, he wasn't born here. He came here when he was 3, and then he made a life here after that. Mm-hmm.
He made a what? Sorry.
He made a life. Yeah, he made a life here. Like
he
grew up here. Yeah.
I want to switch gears a bit now, right? Switch topics a bit, And maybe you can tell the people a bit about you. You know, like what do you do? What excites you? What is your thing? You know, and your story maybe.
I'm not that interesting, I think. But
Yo, the most interesting people will say that. You know what I mean? And interesting, yeah. So please go ahead.
yes, sometimes. But well, I was born here. Um, well, and from my Chinese part, it's always more from the Chiu part of the family.
Mm.
But well, I'm actually a biologist. I studied biology
Oh,
in the UNAM, and actually I have a master's degree there too. In
oh.
fact, I'm here at this pueblito, um, collecting snakes.
Yeah.
Snakes
You
here.
told me that, I got shocked.
And you say you're not
Yeah,
interesting. Come on,
rattlesnakes
man.
actually. Yeah, we're
Rattlesnakes,
actually
are
collecting
they
here.
are they
Yeah,
rattlesnakes in
rattlesnakes.
Mexico?
Well, actually, America and well,
That's
Mexico
what I
has a
thought.
lot of
Texas is the,
rattlesnakes, but yeah,
oh really?
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of rattlesnakes here.
Wow. Is it the same kind of diamond tail thing that you find in Texas? You know the
Mm, yeah, no, well, but the diamond one is only in Texas, and actually that's the biggest one of the rattlesnakes.
yes, yeah.
The diamond one. The ones here are a bit smaller, but they are equally as dangerous. Well, but they
Wow.
won't do you a thing as long as you treat them with respect.
Yeah.
So that's it. In fact, even I don't know if you've gone to the Ajusco, Ajusco,
Ahusco,
the
we've
mountain.
been before, yeah.
We have
Yes.
climbed an Ahusco
Oh yeah, we
mountain.
climbed. Big shout out to Ben. Yeah,
Yeah, can you
we
continue?
climbed.
Sorry, Jesse?
Yeah, the mountain there at the south of the city. There's
Mhm.
actually a rattlesnake there. There's
Oh,
actually a rattlesnake. They are not that big, but if there's a cerro, a little mountain here, probably there's snakes there. But the most common ones are like culebras. They are not dangerous per se.
Culebras. Okay.
Culebras. Sounds like cobras.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
what are you trying to research
Hmm.
with the snakes?
Well, I'm actually helping a friend of mine. He's the one researching snakes, and we are like doing ecology, demographics of the snakes, and those things are. I hope they get published.
Oh,
Yeah, in
cool.
fact,
You're
my
planning to
my friend is
publish.
here.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah,
If you heard it.
what we do, what we usually do is we collect data and we then analyze the data and we write about that. For example, I for my master's degree, I actually worked with lizards, the ones you see in the city all the time, the ones that are actually making like push-ups.
Right.
I
Have you
Push-ups.
seen
I
those?
work,
No.
They go like,
yeah,
What? I didn't
right?
know about that.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Okay. So in
that's
general,
like
you yes.
yeah.
In general, you are researching all the cold
Cold-blooded
reptiles,
reptiles.
cold-blooded reptiles, like because it's snakes and land lizards. Oh, I think they're jammed.
Oh,
Maybe there's some internet
all
issue.
right. We got some issues here. Zach, if you can hear us, why don't you exit the studio, right, and re-enter again? That should fix it. But yeah, you haven't seen it goes like that. It's very interesting, right? Like the I want to ask him actually like about a bit more about the research as well, you know, and
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Okay.
what did you ask a while ago? Sorry, because
Okay, the only
the
thing we heard
the
so
internet
far
was
in the
gone.
last yeah,
Yeah.
you have to repeat like last 30 seconds, bro. We didn't hear anything.
No,
You
I
can tell
didn't
us
say
about
anything.
the research here.
Okay, no, I
Okay.
didn't say anything. In fact, Celestine was going to ask me a thing, but
Yeah,
I didn't hear
you were
anything
gonna
because
ask.
I was asking, are you specifically researching reptiles? because you mentioned snakes, and then over here in the city you are looking at lizards. Looks like we got jammed again.
Wow.
I was the one I was in doing my my article because I had to write something up. It specializes in reptile research and in reptile and amphibian research, especially their ecology.
Okay.
So yeah, for example, the one I did was about lizards and, for example, how climate change affects them. And what I wanted to see,
Okay.
for example, I took lizards from a lot of places. For example, from high in the mountain or low in the desert. And for example, I compare them their how they're doing in their habitats. And what I found out is that if the if, for example, the planet were to heat up, and it's going to heat up, the lizards are probably going to die. And their range are going to be limited only to the mountainous parts of the country because it's cooler. And for example, reptiles, you may have heard that they are cold-blooded, but well, it's not that their blood is cold. Their blood is no one can live with cold blood, nothing. So
It's we lost you, man.
Yeah, I think it's where
I think it's every time we talk about the cold-blooded.
I think it's where Zach is at. His internet is not very stable, so like he goes off. Oh, I think now he completely went off.
I think it's gonna
I hope
come
he
back
comes
in.
back in
Yeah,
again.
hopefully he comes back in. But it's an interesting point that you're saying that the global warming or climate change leading to increased temperatures, so lizards need to go to the mountains where it's cooler.
Right, and I was very interested to know about what deems a creature cold-blooded, because they're not actually cold-blooded, right? It's something to do with the way they deal with cold or heat, right? I'm waiting to hear that.
It's a metabolic process from what I remember or know. I might be wrong, right? But what I remember is that cold-blooded creatures need some kind of external source of. I mean, we all do, but they need some kind of external source of heat, and it has to be part of their daily thing. Like literally, they need to charge up before they. Let's check with the expert. He's back.
All right.
Zach is back.
Our expert is back. Please explain to
us. Zach,
cold-blooded.
We got a question, man. So, what is a cold-blooded creature? What? How do you define and yeah?
Yeah, well, it's not actually because of their blood. It's their blood is not cold per se, but they don't, unlike us, because when we are cold, we can generate heat ourselves. Our body knows we're cold, and we start generating heat. Also, when we are really hot, when there's a lot of heat, we start sweating, so our bodies can cool themselves. But lizards and cold-blooded animals can do that. They depend on the sun or the shadow to cool themselves. So that's more or less why, if the planet were to heat up, and if the planet were to heat up, many of these animals will be at danger because it will be harder for them to actually get in a cooler place. For example, if a lizard is in the desert and the heat is too much, not even in the shadow they are going to be able to cool themselves. So they are probably going to die. Instead, in the mountains, they can find more places. Yeah, but that's why we have to try to be more conscious about the climate change and
these creatures.
it's really dangerous.
Okay.
So what happens to a lizard, or like one of those creatures, crocodile, for example, when they get too heated up? How do they deal with it? Do they just kind of like go searching for a cold place?
Yeah, for example, a crocodile could.
They go into the water. Oh, we lost Zach again.
Oh, we got cut off.
Right. I actually didn't
That's really interesting.
really understand. So basically, what he was saying is that they have issues cooling down.
Yes,
Is that what?
and heating
Okay.
up. Basically, it's like they need an external thing. They don't have the
And
system
heating
to
up, they have
cool
okay.
themselves. Yeah.
Okay. Like unlike us,
Yeah.
we'll be more adaptable to different climates.
Yes, but like them, this is what I wanted to ask him. We have, I mean, the centermost part of our brain, about this size, is actually referred to as the reptilian part of the brain. So I wanted to ask him if, I mean, the whole cooling down, heating up thing, and its relationship to the brain. But yeah, I don't know.
So back to the topic of the Foreing Show. Like, so basically, Zak is here. He's a completely in academics. He's doing or finished a master, and he's actually really passionately studying things that are good for the environment. And like I don't know what China offers. Let's say his family never moved here. I don't know what China offers, because I mean, obviously China also has like a whole different like geographical
like
to offer,
to study for biologists like him, right?
Yeah, but like I can see that he is, you know, right now he's even in a pueblito, like what he says, and he's doing stuff that is interesting for him. Yeah.
Hey,
okay. Well, you're back.
Again, I'm sorry.
Hey man, cool man. Hopefully it's better this time.
A bit of trouble with the internet.
No,
so yeah.
It's okay. We know that you're not the city.
Yeah, we were just telling the people about you doing research in this, you know, this pueblito, and choosing to do your stuff there, right?
Yeah. I'm actually very. I like a lot.
Bro,
research.
your hair,
Your hair is so long, man. Like the last time I saw you was here. Now it's like
yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, but sorry. Go. So, what were you saying about the research?
Yeah, about my research, I told you I only research about the lizards and that they are probably going to die. Long story short.
Oh no.
Oh, yo, we don't want to hear that, man.
But like climate, as in like you're talking about like global warming and all that. If like if it continues, it gets too hot, and then we're going to lose like a bunch of lizards, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, but not only lizards.
Are you talking about extinct level?
Not only lizards, you see.
Not only lizards. Okay.
No, not only lizards. We are going to lose a lot of things, because the oceans are also heating up. And for example, in the coast, for example, Singapore, I think their cuisine depends a lot on fishes, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
We are an island, and because we are lagooned, so we are not really fishing from our seas either. We are importing everything.
Oh, we are doing everything in Singapore. Every industry is kind of maxed out. So yes, fishing. Whether we depend on it, yes, we depend on. We have everything kind of tapped. So yeah. I forgot your question, bro. Sorry, when you say Singapore, I start to. Yeah. What was your question, bro?
Yeah. The problem, for example, not only the ocean, but for example, the water levels of the ocean are going to rise. So, for example, the places that are to be most affected by global warming are probably going to be island or coastal zones.
Got you.
And a lot of fishes that probably it's going to be hard to find them. For example, I think I don't know if you've heard, but this year there's a phenomenon starting called El Niño. It's like every 7 years or something like so. It's not
okay.
It's not an exact measurement. And for example, and I think it's well, it's going to be bad.
Okay.
What is this phenomenon exactly?
Of El Nino.
El Nino. Okay.
I mean, we've heard of El Nino, but
hurricane.
Yeah, that's generally what we remember. Maybe you can educate us and the people. What is this phenomenon?
El Niño is a phenomenon where the oceans es cuando se calienta de más, ¿no? El océano. Yeah. Well, let's say that the ocean gets heated more.
Yes,
Uh,
you do.
yeah, and for example, it causes a lot of things. For example, in the tropical regions like Mexico, I think storms are coming more frequently. The dry season is also going to be even stronger. And
Mm.
for example, right now we are at a record. The planet has recently registered its highest temperature, and so for example, we never had a El Nino phenomenon before. So there's a lot of questions about what's going to happen, because for example, a lot of islands are going to, well, a lot of people at island or coastal zones probably are going to suffer this. For
Mhm.
example, I think the el Huracán Katrina, the one that happened in the United States like
Yeah.
15 years ago, it was during El Nino phenomenon. So well,
Okay.
maybe
Yeah,
with
right.
that
Yeah.
you can have an idea.
Okay, so El Nino is not a specific hurricane or something, but it's an overall phenomenon of. I mean, it's a general phenomenon, right? You say a kind of a.
It's
Yeah,
yes,
no, no,
yes.
it's
It's
not a
not
hurricane, it's a
hurricane as
phenomenon.
Right.
it's a sea level temperatures reaching 0.5 degrees Celsius. I'm googling it like because of what
Wow.
you're telling me. Okay,
Okay.
interesting.
Why do
So
they say? I'm curious why they call it El Nino also. Wow.
Um,
This is
no idea. So basically, when you study, so as a biologist, you are studying like all life, even in the marine, in sea and land, everything you study in general.
and yeah, not only that, also a little bit of biochemistry, biomolecules. But yeah, biology per se, bio is from the term life, and logi, well, is from logis, I think Latin for the study of. So basically, it means the study of life.
study of
Study of
life.
life, everything. Right. Okay. So that's
Yeah.
your interest. That's what you like. I mean, you sound very involved when you're talking about this. I feel like you're passionate about it. So you like this is your interest.
Yeah, well, even if I'm involved, it's really hard to get a job out of this, if I'm honest.
Uh, there is not much opportunity for like employment for this, like in the labs or anything like that. It's hard to get a job.
Yeah, as a biologist, it's really tough to get a job. And most of the, for example, if I wanted to grow more in what I'm doing, I will have to grow in academia. And for example, keep publishing articles, publishing in scientific journals, and probably I'll have to do my um PhD, a doctorate.
Mhm.
But I'm still like I'm trying to see if I can get a job at least for so I can get some experience before I get into more serious things. You know?
I see. So Zach, like you are okay, so you already completed your masters or you're in the process.
Yeah.
Completed.
Sorry.
And you have completed your masters.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Finished. So basically right now you are extremely qualified. So for you to get a job as a biologist like should be it shouldn't be like a big deal, but you're saying that it's very competitive, the industry, or there's not enough jobs.
Yeah, it's really competitive, and for example, here in Mexico, we have a problem sometimes when if your uncle works at a certain company, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter if you are really not qualified for the job. If your uncle can help you get in, it probably you probably will get in, even if there are more, uh,
Qualified people.
yeah, more qualified people than you. So yeah, this is far from a meritocracy,
Yes.
and
So Like
It's really
this is
hard for that.
definitely something
Yeah, that's what I
I've
was.
observed, that it's more of like a who you know kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? Over here, because it's like I think it's like also a trust-based culture. You know, like if you know this person for a long time, it doesn't matter, and you just hire them instead. Well,
Well, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, obviously, the meritocracy, the people who own the thing, they can do whatever they want. Like they can bring their people in and stuff, and that's kind of why also on this show we kind of are shining a spotlight on independence, and people who are doing it the independent way also in a way. And I was just going to ask you, Zach, your papers, your journals, the studies that you've done, and you mentioned that you want to get it published in scientific journals, right? But what do you think of getting it published in non-scientific journals? Like just to get people to kind of to see it, to read it, get more eyes on your papers. Because I mean, talking to you, I can tell that your research is something that people might be interested to check out. Now, have you considered this, like publishing it on your own, or using people like us? Like for example, using our networks to kind of just get your papers in front of more people.
Yeah, well, that would be kind of hard because those papers, that research is like is very specific. So a lot of people wouldn't be interested in that. And if, for example, I wanted to get more attention, there's this thing called scientific divulgation, which is like what you said. For example,
Scientific.
participating in podcasts, or for example, making my Facebook page and maybe posting once a day or once every hour some interesting fact about lizards or whatever, so I can educate more
Mm.
people. But well, I'm not that interested in that part
Oh, I
because
see.
I'm quite timid, you see. And
You say you're quite timid. Yo, but the snakes, come on, man, you're around the snakes and the lizards.
yeah, that's true.
The snakes and the lizards, yeah.
yeah, but the
Yeah,
snakes can't judge me.
yeah. Humans
Actually,
are scarier.
actually, I have to disagree. The snakes judge you on a deeper level. The snakes sense whether you're a good person, whether you are full of shit,
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's a joke. But it's an interesting
No,
point. Let me ask you this question: like when you study in university, and also your colleague who's with you there, like is this something that a lot of people who do, a lot of biologists or academics, they do? Do academics create a lane for themselves in whatever they're studying? I mean, I guess it's something that we don't really see.
how so? I didn't understand quite the question.
Okay, no, actually, no. Describe that.
Yeah, no,
It's a dumb question.
I
I have a better one.
I find this interesting because it's like you're saying that there's not enough opportunity for you, and you already. I feel like you went to you're already doing masters. You went to UNAM, which is a reputable university
On an international level,
So,
yeah.
I guess what we are exploring is that if you could push something for yourself, like without, I mean, yeah, I know that you have this plan, like publish in the scientific journals and all that, and you should do that as well. But also like bring awareness in a relatable level, maybe to people who like in social media and everything, and you talk about these things that you're researching. I think a lot of people will be interested to know.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested to know, but you just said just now that you're not so interested in doing that, right? What are you more interested to do?
Traveling, but I need money to travel. I have to get money somehow.
Okay.
Yeah. And are you interested to visit Macau, where your dad was born? Have you been?
Yeah. No, I've never been in China. I would love to be there, but I've never been in my life there.
China's dope, man. Yeah.
Well, while your cousin is there, it's a good time to visit because you can crash at his place.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a really interesting topic that I'm thinking. I mean, I feel also like, because you mentioned, money. Obviously, money is the thing that you and probably a lot of other academics consider, right, when they're thinking of how they want to plan out their career and stuff, right? And but I think it would be pretty cool, like I know your research is heavy. It's intellectual. You need a certain level of understanding to really digest.
Yeah.
So maybe you could give us the idiot version.
Yeah,
like the
for dummies, the version for dummies. Yeah, and I think people would be interested to know.
To know more. Like, I have a question. I think it might be a dumb question. We got like 10 minutes left, and I'm just gonna shoot. This thing that you're talking about, reptiles being cold-blooded. Okay.
Yeah,
So
okay.
like our brain, we have a reptilian part of the brain, right? Like the innermost part of the brain, of the human brain, right? The flight fight response actually is kind of activated in that region. So this thing about reptiles, if they get too hot, they need to cool down. They're too cold, they can't function, they need to heat up. Do you think there's some correlation to our fight-flight response in that sense also?
Perhaps because, for example, when we are in a stressful situation and we have to fight or flight, our body instantly has to react. And for example, we need to have energy for that. For example, the hotter we are, the more temperature we have. Well, in fact, I can tell you this: when you are sick, your temperature rises up, right?
Yes.
This is because we have something called enzymes, enzymes. Enzymes, yeah. The fact is, they work better at certain temperatures. Like, for example, when the water heats up, you see there's a lot of movement. No, the pool rises up, and you can kind of make like an analogy with the enzymes. And when your body heats up, then a lot of reactions occur, and your body will better fight the infection or whatever is going on in your body.
Right.
Okay. Wow, that's okay.
So, because like Isaac mentioned, that we only have like a few minutes left of the show, and I would like to get back to like the theme of today's episode. So,
yes, please.
Like, it would be good if if you could share some of your thoughts on like how your family, yourself, like what you feel are like some of the trials that you have experienced being an immigrant, as well as the triumphs.
Well, the triumphs, of course, is that, for example, from my grandfather only came here with my grandmother and 2 children, and we are now probably like there's like 40 of us only from those 5 people. So you may call that
Amazing.
a triumph, I guess.
Yeah, it is a triumph,
for sure.
Yeah,
you survived. Your family survived and thrived. Yeah, multiplied.
Yeah, not only
Exactly.
they survived. For example, they had all of them have families. They have jobs. So I get my grandfather did one hell of a job because he had 9 children. So you can guess.
Wow.
Hey, what year was your grandfather born in?
Sorry.
Do you know what year your grandfather was born?
I think he was. I'm not sure if he was born in Veracruz or Chiapas, but he was born one of those.
Oh yeah, but like which year?
Which year? No. He probably like no. I will be guessing it. So no.
Okay,
it's okay.
No, that's cool.
And like, what was it? Like, what do you feel with the trials? What was very difficult for your family?
Well, the principal difficulty is because we are different. Obviously, they are going to try treat us sometimes differently. There's a lot of racism. Well, there's a lot of that in the country. Yeah, there's a lot of that in this country.
We heard from you guys, like all of our Oriental friends, that they have experienced racism, but like honestly, when we arrived, like people treated us like well, I think by the time we arrived, like Asians were like
Or a bit more.
Well, yeah, a bit more. People were more accepting of Asians by the time that we arrived, because like we know what the climate was like. Like when we were in the US, like just a while ago. I think Zach is offline. It's jammed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but keep going. I think he can hear us.
Yeah, like back when we were in the US, there was like some years back, like Asian people, I got the feeling of racism. But in Mexico, when we came, I think Korea was really big at that time. So people were very accepting of Asians. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I hope you heard what I said. Zach.
Yeah, most of it, I hope.
So did you experience racism when you were growing up? Okay, well, Zach disappeared again. We only have 1 minute left, so
okay,
I think,
1 minute. Oh, maybe we should wrap up then.
Yeah. So I think that in today's episode, like we got a little window into a family that is really big and established here, like generations. Zach himself is actually second generation because his dad was born in Macau. So we got like some stories like like we see the trials and the triumphs, like what we've mentioned. Yeah. Also, we see what he's doing right now, what he's putting his heart into, and like I think in any country, even if he's in his own country, if let's say they never left and they were in China, there also maybe there will be some restrictions for being able to get jobs or however the culture might offer. It really depends. Okay, so yeah, we're in our last minute. Zach, could you say a few words before we end?
Something you want to tell?
Me, guys.
What?
No, it's a real pleasure. So thank you.
I feel like the internet connection stopped the flow a bit. And maybe we could have you on another time, and we could talk more about your history. You could find out more, and we definitely find your family's being settling here in Mexico a very cool thing to think about.
Yes, and we're not just saying this because obviously, our lives have kind of, kind of intertwined. Like we hang out with you guys, we know John, and May, shout out to May, so it's really great vibes, bro. And this whole story, we wanted to kind of just go into it, the whole migration thing, because we get to experience it kind of in a sense, kind of firsthand with you guys, like what it means for a family to kind of be in a foreign place, right? And kind of put roots and not just survive, but multiply. Yes. So this is really cool things, man. So
we wish you the best in your endeavors.
Yeah.
Publish your work, and
please.
We're interested to know. So
yeah.
Any more last words?
Thank you a lot for having me, and please take care of the planet, because if not, we all are going to die. So yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yes, you got it, bro.
So I'm Celestine Angel signing out.
I'm Isaac Rakesh.
And we have Zak Chiu with us, and we're here activating your senses. Peace out.
Thank you to all who joined us here on That Foreign Show. It's been awesome. I'm Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch, and we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend, y'all.